Then you've got the woke left, people like Susan Sarandon, who's, constantly out there marching for this, that, the other thing. And she said this nonsense. She actually had to try to dial it back because she realized she stepped on a rake. She said, there are a lot of people that are afraid of being Jewish at this time. And they're getting a taste of what it feels like to be a Muslim in this country, so often subjected to violence. Because, Rabbi, you may know, Jews have no familiarity in their history with what it's like to be subjected to violence. Because when you were talking about how on a college campus you could never get away with this with the white hat calling for the death of blacks, of course they'd say, right, because A, it's wrong, and B, there's a history. There's a history when it comes to blacks.
Yeah.
Same
well,
when it comes to
Jews. Not only is there a history of othering and violence and irrational hate and hatred subordinating every worthy value you can think of, but there's another dynamic at work here which we are very familiar with and we can sniff out faster than most, which is the flipping of the script. This is Hamas Playbook 101. Attack, provoke, murder, rape, burn. And then knowing in advance what the counter will be, what the counteroffensive will be. And if you hide underneath and behind enough innocent people who get killed, and you frame yourself, the victimizer, as the victim, you can flip the script. And the real victim becomes the oppressor. And most people stand by and they either don't speak out against the flipping of the script, are too naive to even understand the script has been flipped. But we have to keep speaking out. We have to keep telling the truth. Can I say sort of bad words on this? I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You're on the right show.
We have to call bullshit on this. We have to. And woe unto us, and woe unto this country, and woe unto the world if we ever stop saying its name.
Now we've had 6 weeks of the Israeli response. And to me, it's so frustrating because now the whole narrative, we knew it was going to happen. It happens every time Hamas does this. They attack Israel constantly, right? And now it's all, now the people who, let's face it, they were thrilled at what Hamas did on 10/7. They thought the Israelis deserved it, many of them, before there was a single retaliatory strike by Israel. But now they feel they have their excuse. Now they can say, oh, it's just, my heart is breaking for the poor Palestinians. And maybe that's true for some of these folks, but my distinct impression is that that's not what it's about. They want an excuse to condemn Israel, to say stop. They'd love to see Hamas regroup, and they muddy the waters, right? To where you're saying, we too are sad about dead Palestinian children, but we also understand who's responsible for that. And that's yet right. You hear, the college campuses and the marchers, and even I've had some people I know come up to me it's just so terrible what Israel's doing to the children. It's you have to zoom out and maintain perspective. So what's going on there? How do we get perspective on these arguments?
We have been raised, not we, but many, particularly anyone under the age of, I don't know, I'm going to take a guess here, 40, including university faculty, who were in their 20s when this started on the college campuses, and they were students. They have kind of embraced and internalized the idea that the underdog is always the victim. Hamas militarily, of course, is that. And they conflate it, here we go again, with the inability to disambiguate. They conflate it with the horrible, horrible death of innocent people. Hamas is responsible for the death, kidnapping, torture of innocent people on October 7th. And Hamas is responsible for the death of probably, 20,000 innocent Palestinians, Gazans in Gaza. Yes, it's sad, but let's be clear about the perpetrator. And now, another reason this is happening, Megyn, I believe, is because people are using what they believe, even the best people who have this feeling that Israel's at fault, they are using a single metric to determine who is the victim and who is the victimizer, which is the number of innocent people who have died. Now, let's think about that for a moment. Somewhere between 6.5 and 8.5 million Nazis and German citizens, innocent German citizens, died in World War II. About 500,000, I'm rounding up and down here, closer to 600,000 from the UK and closer to 500 million from France. Now, does that mean since 6.5 to 8.5 million Germans died and 600,000 from the UK died, does that mean the Germans were the victims? Does that mean that the UK was the perpetrator? That is not the metric by which you determine good and evil. I'm sorry. It's a metric that pulls at the heartstrings. But if that is your only metric, you have no real understanding of how to assess what is evil and what is not.
EnviroCleanse just announced a huge holiday sale. Let me tell you why this is important. They're predicting another triple-demic this year, and the best way to fight a cold or a flu is to just not get it in the first place. And with their limited time holiday sale, you will save 30%. So why EnviroCleanse over all the others? Because EnviroCleanse is proven to capture and destroy cold and flu viruses other purifiers miss. EnviroCleanse's military-grade technology wipes out bacteria, toxins, and mold that can make you sick. That's why the Navy chose EnviroCleanse to protect the air on board our Navy ships. Get EnviroCleanse for your home before a virus affects your whole family. Right now, you'll save 30% during their holiday sale, plus get fast free shipping. Visit ekpure.com and use code Megyn30 for 30% off your order. ekpure.com, code Megyn30. ekpure.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.